Islamabad is again punishing the people of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. First, with bullets fired at unarmed demonstrators, and now with a cruel chokehold on food, fuel, and medicine meant to break a growing people's uprising. Well, across PoK, anger over daily survival has turned into an open revolt against Pakistan's political and military rulers. Protests led by Jammu Kashmir Joint Awami Action Committee or the JAAC began with basic demands like cheap flour, fair electricity tariffs, and political rights, but have been met with live fire, mass arrests, internet shutdown, and now a de facto blockade of essential supplies. So come along as we tell you what's actually happening in PoK, and the Munir-shariff duo, which talks of peace on the global stage, is making people of PoK suffer, first by killing them and now by starving them to death. Last year and again this summer, PoK towns from Muzaffarabad to Rawalakot saw huge marches against inflation, heavy taxes, and soaring power bills, led largely by traders and ordinary residents under the JAAC banner. Instead of talks, Islamabad and the PoK administration called in rangers and other forces, who opened fire on protesters and funeral gatherings, killing and injuring civilians. In fact, local activists and media reports now speak of dozens of deaths and hundreds of injured as security forces repeatedly used live ammunition and tear gas to crush peaceful procession demanding nothing more than affordable food and electricity. In fact, multiple rights groups have condemned the use of deadly force and reported cases where bodies were allegedly withheld from families unless they branded the dead as terrorists. Now, when bullets failed to silence the streets, the Sharif Munir establishment shifted to a more silent weapon: hunger. Multiple social media accounts from residents, truck drivers, and reports by news agencies like AFP describe how vehicles carrying flour, fuel, and medicines are being blocked by the authorities, delayed, or turned back, creating acute shortage across large parts of PoK. Markets are shut, fuel pumps are dry, and people say they are unable to find basic medicines or even find food beyond a few vegetables, as a JAAC-led shutdown combines with deliberate state restrictions on supply chains. Now, obviously, Islamabad denies a blockade, but the reality on ground remains that grocery shelves are empty, pharmacies are shut, and patients are desperate. Exactly what a siege looks like to the 3 lakh plus people trapped in these affected areas. At the heart of this crisis is Islamabad's fear of genuine people's representation in PoK. Remember, protests basically began and intensified over seats in the PoK assembly reserved for refugees, which local groups say Pakistan's mainstream political parties used to rig outcomes and install loyal government officials. Instead of listening, the Sharif government and General Asim Munir's army branded the JAAC a terrorist outfit under anti-terror laws, even though it is a grassroots platform seeking just economic justice and fair representation. Authorities shut internet and mobile networks, imposed shoot-at-sight style crackdowns, and unleashed unrest, economic reprisal, and now a supply squeeze to crush a civil rights movement that had openly rejected outside control over PoK's politics. Now, by punishing ordinary residents of PoK for demanding basic rights, Pakistan rulers have exposed both their weakness and their deep fear of any Kashmiri who dares to speak against Rawalpindi and Islamabad. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm Yash Goel signing off for Times Now Digital. Until next time, take care and keep watching this space for more such videos.